You turn 65 tomorrow. How much money do you actually need to retire? Is it $500,000? $1 million? $2 million? Or could you comfortably retire with much less? You've probably seen headlines telling you that you need a massive amount of money before you can retire. But here's the problem. There is no single retirement number that works for everyone. Someone with $500,000 could potentially be in a stronger retirement position than someone with $1 million. How? Because the amount you've saved is only one part of the equation. Your Social Security, housing, debt, taxes, healthcare, where you live, and most importantly, how much you spend every month can completely change the answer. So today, we're going to break down how much money you might actually need to retire at 65. We'll look at 3 different retirement lifestyles: a $3,000 a month lifestyle, a $5,000 a month lifestyle, and a $7,000 a month lifestyle. And when you see the numbers, you'll understand why asking, "How much do I need to retire?" may be the wrong question. Let's start with the number that matters most: your monthly spending. Before worrying about whether you need $500,000 or $2 million, answer this question: how much will your retirement actually cost every month? Imagine 2 people who both retire at 65. The first needs $3,000 per month. The second needs $7,000 per month. That's $36,000 per year versus $84,000 per year. Over 20 years, before considering inflation, investment returns, taxes, or unexpected expenses, that's a difference of nearly $1 million. Same retirement age, completely different financial needs. That's why your retirement number starts with your lifestyle. Look at what you actually spend today: housing, food, transportation, insurance, utilities, healthcare, travel, entertainment, subscriptions, restaurants, gifts, home repairs, and everything else. Then ask which expenses will disappear in retirement and which ones could increase. Maybe you'll stop commuting. Maybe you'll pay off your mortgage. But perhaps you'll travel more. Maybe healthcare expenses increase. The goal isn't to guess. The goal is to create a realistic picture of what your retirement life could actually cost. And once you know that, we can bring Social Security into the calculation. Social Security can change everything. Suppose you expect to spend $5,000 per month in retirement. That's $60,000 per year. If you looked only at that number, retirement might seem extremely expensive. But suppose your household receives $3,000 per month from Social Security. Now, your retirement savings don't necessarily need to provide the entire $5,000. They need to help cover the gap. $5,000 of spending minus $3,000 of Social Security leaves $2,000 per month. That's $24,000 per year. Now compare 2 retirees. Retiree A needs $5,000 per month and receives $3,000 from Social Security. Retiree B also needs $5,000 per month, but receives only $2,500 from Social Security. Their lifestyles cost exactly the same, but their retirement savings have very different jobs. That's why knowing your expected Social Security benefit is so important. And if you're married, claiming strategies can become even more important. The age at which you claim can affect the amount you receive. So don't simply look at your savings balance. Look at your total retirement income. Now let's talk about one of the most famous retirement rules: the 4% rule. You've probably heard someone say, "Just use the 4% rule." The general idea is that you begin retirement by withdrawing approximately 4% of your portfolio in the first year, and then adjust withdrawals for inflation over time. It's a planning guideline, not a guarantee, but it gives us a useful way to illustrate the relationship between spending and savings. Let's say you need your investments to provide $20,000 per year. Using 4% as a rough starting point, you'd divide $20,000 by 0.4. That equals $500,000. If you need $40,000 per year from your portfolio, $40,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1 million. And if you need $60,000 per year, $60,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1.5 million. See what's happening? Your retirement savings target isn't determined by your age alone. It's heavily influenced by the amount your portfolio needs to produce. And remember, the 4% rule isn't a promise that your money will never run out. Investment performance matters. Inflation matters. Your asset allocation matters. Taxes matter. Your lifespan matters. And your spending can change. Use rules of thumb to begin the conversation. Don't let them replace an actual retirement plan. Now let's look at our first lifestyle. Retirement example number 1. $3,000 per month. Imagine you're 65 and your desired retirement lifestyle costs approximately $3,000 per month. That's $36,000 per year. Now suppose Social Security provides $2,500 per month. That's $30,000 per year. Your spending gap is only $6,000 per year. Using our simplified 4% illustration, a $6,000 annual portfolio withdrawal corresponds to approximately $150,000. Does that mean everyone spending $3,000 per month can retire safely with $150,000? Absolutely not. You still need to consider taxes, emergencies, inflation, healthcare, major home repairs, and other expenses. But look at how dramatically Social Security changed the calculation. Someone with modest expenses and strong, guaranteed income may not need the giant investment portfolio they thought they did. Now let's increase the lifestyle. Retirement example number 2. $5,000 per month. At $5,000 per month, you're spending $60,000 per year. Suppose Social Security provides $3,000 per month. That's $36,000 per year. Your portfolio needs to cover approximately 24 days per year. Using the same simplified 4% illustration, 24 days divided by 0.04 equals 690. That's a completely different retirement savings target. But again, this is an illustration. Maybe you have a pension. Maybe you have rental income. Maybe you still have a mortgage. Maybe your healthcare costs are substantial. Maybe you want to travel internationally several times every year. Every one of those things changes the calculation. Now let's look at a more expensive retirement. Retirement example number 3. $7,000 per month. $7,000 per month equals $84,000 per year. Suppose your household receives $3,500 per month from Social Security. That's $42,000 per year. That leaves another $42,000 per year. Using our simplified 4% illustration, $42,000 divided by 0.04 equals approximately $1.05 million. Now you can see why two people asking, "Can I retire at 65?" might receive completely different answers. One person's lifestyle might require a relatively small withdrawal from investments. Another person's lifestyle might require tens of thousands of dollars every year. And housing is often one of the reasons. Your house could determine your retirement number. For many Americans, housing is one of their largest expenses. Mortgage, property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, utilities, maintenance, repairs, landscaping, and sometimes special assessments. Suppose one retiree owns a paid-off, modest home with relatively manageable expenses. Another retiree has a large mortgage, high insurance premiums, and significant property expenses. Both may have exactly $750,000 saved, but their financial situations could be completely different. This is where downsizing can become powerful. Selling a larger home and moving into something less expensive may accomplish several things. It could potentially free up home equity, reduce monthly housing expenses, lower utilities, reduce maintenance, and make the property easier to manage as you get older. But downsizing doesn't automatically save money. A smaller home in a more expensive area could actually cost more. Condo fees can be significant. Insurance varies dramatically by location. Property taxes matter. The purchase price is only one piece of the decision. Always look at the total cost of living in the home. Where you retire matters. $1 million doesn't buy the same retirement everywhere. Housing costs vary. Taxes vary. Insurance varies. Healthcare costs vary. Transportation costs vary. Even groceries and entertainment can vary. A retirement budget that feels tight in one location may provide a very comfortable lifestyle somewhere else. That doesn't mean you should move somewhere you don't want to live just because it's cheaper. Quality of life matters. Family matters. Friends matter. Healthcare access matters. Weather matters. Activities matter. But geography is one of the biggest financial levers available to retirees. If your retirement numbers aren't working, changing where you live could potentially have a much larger impact than cutting out coffee or canceling a streaming service. And that brings us to another expense that deserves special attention: healthcare. At 65, Medicare becomes an important part of the healthcare picture for many Americans. But Medicare does not mean healthcare becomes free. There can still be premiums, deductibles, copays, prescription costs, dental care, vision expenses, hearing expenses, and services that aren't fully covered. Then there's the possibility of long-term care later in life. Healthcare is one reason you don't want to build a retirement budget with absolutely no margin for error. If your plan works only when everything goes perfectly, you may not have a very strong plan. Build room for surprises. Because over a retirement that could last 20 or 30 years, surprises are almost guaranteed. Don't forget inflation. Imagine retiring at 65 and living to 90. That's 25 years. Even moderate inflation over a period that long can substantially increase the cost of living. A grocery bill that feels manageable today may look very different years from now. The same applies to insurance, restaurants, travel, home repairs, and many other expenses. That's why simply taking your current annual expenses and multiplying them by 25 doesn't give you a complete retirement plan. Your income and investments need to account for the possibility that your future dollars won't buy as much as today's dollars. Inflation doesn't usually destroy a retirement overnight. It works slowly. That's what makes it dangerous. What about $1 million? Let's answer the question everyone asks. Is $1 million enough to retire at 65? Maybe. For someone with strong Social Security benefits, reasonable housing costs, and a moderate lifestyle, $1 million could potentially support a very comfortable retirement. For someone spending $10,000 per month with significant debt and expensive housing, $1 million might not feel like nearly enough. The $1 million number sounds powerful because it's psychologically significant. But retirement doesn't care about round numbers. Your bills don't know whether you have $900,000 or $1.1 million. What matters is the relationship between your spending, your guaranteed income, your investment withdrawals, your taxes, your debt, and how long the money needs to last. The number you should actually calculate, so here's a simple framework. Step 1. Estimate your realistic annual retirement expenses. Step 2. Estimate your annual reliable retirement income from sources such as Social Security and pensions. Step 3. Subtract reliable income from expenses. The remaining number is your annual retirement income gap. Step 4. Determine how much of that gap your investments need to support. Step 5. Stress test the plan. What happens if inflation is higher? What happens if markets decline? What happens if you need a major home repair? What happens if one spouse dies? What happens if healthcare costs increase? What happens if you live to 95? You don't need to predict the future perfectly. You can't. But you can build a plan that doesn't collapse the first time reality differs from your assumptions. So, how much do you really need at 65? Here's the answer. There isn't one magic number. You may hear $500,000, $1 million, $1 to $1.5 million, $2 million. But none of those numbers means anything without knowing the lifestyle they're supposed to support. A person with $500,000 and very low expenses could potentially have more financial freedom than someone with $2 million and enormous monthly obligations. So instead of obsessing over somebody else's retirement number, calculate yours. How much will you spend? How much reliable income will you receive? How large is the gap? What assets will cover it? And how much flexibility do you have if circumstances change? That's the retirement number that matters. Retirement isn't a contest to see who accumulates the largest investment account. It's about building enough financial security to live the life you want without constantly worrying about money. And if you're over 50 and want to make smarter decisions about retirement, money, real estate, downsizing, and where to live, subscribe to Life and Amp. Money After 50. We have many more videos coming designed to help you prepare for the next chapter. Plan smart. Live well. Enjoy the next chapter.